Welcome back, Houston Hacks fans, and we're in week 4 of the National Pokemon Draft League, and we are hungry for a win. We're 0 starting our worst start ever in the history of the league, starting out 0-3, and we are taking on Moto Stoke Overdrive. Okay, that's going to be Luca and Gold, and those two have really made quite a pairing, and working together have created something special over there at Moto Stoke. Okay, they've done a very nice job. Their team's interesting, and I really like how they use Indeedee. It's a pretty cool mon, and they have a lot of options. So just initially looking at the matchup, Corsola Galar is one that definitely can not necessarily wall Haxorus and Weavile, because there's definitely sets that I can take advantage with Taunt and Sub, but definitely something that can take a few hits. Whereas he has very good physical bulk or special bulk, whatever he wants Galar to be. Ferrothorn and Gudra can be either defensive or special, does not matter. So he's got a lot of bulk, and then he comes back and then sweeps you with Hawlucha. So we got to be really careful to make sure that Hawlucha doesn't set up. I think if I were to pick a choice Scarfer here, I think Whimsicott makes a lot of sense. That way it outspeeds +1 Haxorus, and able to just get a bunch of Moonblasts off, since I don't really have great switch-ins. So speaking of which, you'll see on my team here, Sylveon's going to be a must as our special wall. I thought about bringing Colossal. I actually almost switched it in last second. But the goal here is to let Weavile and Haxorus with their coverage get in, deal damage, and potentially clean up the game, both of which are going to have the potential to do so. And then bring a lot of coverage and be defensive and switch around until we're ready to sweep. So looking at this game, we got the Heat nicknames. The Heat are about to get swept, or at least take on in Game 3. So I figured, well, I'm down 0-3. The Heat are down 0-2. Might as well put their team names into my Pokemon this week. So see if I can help the Heat out, maybe eke them out a win. But Gourgeist is a really good matchup for me, as it's able to switch in on Ferrothorn. It's also able to Poltergeist really doesn't have a good switch in against him, so there really isn't very many good options besides going into Indeedee, which Indeedee doesn't want to take Power Whip to the face. But this is one of the first times I've run a neutral nature, just because I wanted to keep my special attack. I couldn't sacrifice speed, and I knew I was going to be taking special hits as well. So I knew I took the enough speed to kill to outspeed the Clawitzer, the big claw shooter guy, because he was actually pretty nasty running a few calcs. And then Skymarie, I actually had Brave Bird for the longest time, Brave Bird and Stealth Rocks, which I think would have been a decent set. I think it would have worked out okay. But I just noticed that fighting coverage against his team works extremely well. Now, obviously, Whimsicott, we don't really want fighting coverage for, and Hawlucha, fighting doesn't do very well. But these aren't very bulky mons, and after I get in a Iron Defense up, it really doesn't matter. They do enough damage to break sub on both, and so after Iron Defense, now we're able to pretty much threaten his entire team if we take care of Corsola Galar. And so instead of bringing rocks or spikes, I decided to go for Taunt for that Corsola. If I was able to taunt it, then I would bring in Tyler Hero, aka the Weavile, to exert a ton of pressure on his team. By using Icicle Crash and Knockoff, kind of hits everybody, and then Low Kick for the Ferrothorn and the Rhyperior. I tried to clean the game up, but I needed to be careful of the Psychic Terrain, as I wouldn't be able to get off my priority if that happened. Then I needed a special wall, and Iggy was my mon to do it. I really wish I would have brought lefties, but I figured that he could pretty easily get up Stealth Rocks or T-Spikes or something against me. And I figured I could save more HP by Heavy Duty Boots rather than running leftovers, because I wasn't running Defog on any mons. Xatu was my only form of hazard removal, and so just running a bulky set with Expert Belt, because Heatwave and Grass Knot was able to kill a lot of his slow mons, Rhyperior and Ferrothorn especially, and then Psyshock was able to hit Gudra. So Xatu seemed like a smart bring here, although Colossal was a a last second mon that I really was looking into as well, just to bring rapid spin in case he had brought it. And this was my coolest set. I knew it had a lot of issues and needed a lot of setup in order to, take place and dominate. But close combat, scale shot, poison jab was able to clean the game late if I was able to get chip on everybody. Scale shot puts me at +1 and -1 defense, but it doesn't matter if I'm faster than everybody. So depending on his choice scarfer, or if I could identify that, especially with my Frisk Mon, I was going to be able to hopefully win the game by finishing something off with scale shot and then going through his team with poison jab and close combat. Taunt was for the Corsola G, just to shut that thing down and force it to use a hex or something really weak. So then I get a free switch into a Weavile. But so let's go to my next Mon here, or let's actually just go to the game. So we start off, I just send out Duncan Robinson, aka Zatu, because it's going to hit almost everything on his team very, very well. I was worried about the skunk take lead, as I don't really have a lot of good switch-ins for it. And so I was slightly nervous to see that Mon be led. Actually, I was surprised it came in the first place, and it actually put in a lot of work. It was a cool Mon to see. But we just go Sylveon. We want to definitely track the damage. I believe he's Choice Scarf, or at least we know he's not an attacking item at this point, but he switches out immediately. I just go for the Wish. Then I switch into my Skymory. I know if he's a Fire Puncher, I'll still be able to get Rocky Helmet damage off and heal myself back up. I messed up here. Really messed up. Almost, I think, honestly, a little bit of a throw. I mean, it definitely could have worked out really well. I didn't know what his initial switch would be to Skymory. I thought maybe he'd go Ferrothorn, which then catching him with the Iron Defense would have been really nice because I would have got a bunch of damage off. But doing Iron Defense right away did not make sense because I could have just took damage. I mean, Body Press hits everybody for some damage, and I need chip on everybody in order for my Haxorus to sweep or clean the game. So should have Body Press there. That would have been really nice. I would have done about 40% to the Goodra. And so that would have been huge throughout the game if I would have done that play. But I got a little greedy. Force him into a Flamethrower here, and now I'm able to just wish back up with my Sylveon. Luckily, I'm max Spadef, so I am able to kind of stay in and take super effective moves. I get the Hyper Voice off, which is really, really nice damage on the Indeedee. This is where I start the suspicion of him running Choice Scarf, as he just Mystical Fires me. I mean, it makes sense to lower my special attack, but I also wanted to waste his not his Mystical Fires, but waste his Psychic Terrain in case Hawlucha was going to come in. I'm able to perfectly pick the Baton Pass on his switch to Ferrothorn, which would have been awesome if I did not pass on my negative stat. So, unfortunately, I passed on my negative stat. Otherwise, we would have been threatening this Ferrothorn with an Oko. It would have been super nice, but instead, we just have to take our chip damage because putting it in the 50 to 60 range means it's in close combat range of Haxorus. So, we just had to take that. We're able to roost through these knockoffs. So, we're just going to roost back up and try to get as much health as possible before going for another one. But he does have Gyro Ball. With Gyro Ball, we know that Jay Crowder is able to come in, and with lefties, definitely able to take that hit and force a switch. I was hoping he forgot about the Fire Blast, but he remembers. Henrik brought this set a while back, but he remembered. If I would have Poltergeisted there, that would have been super nice. Body Press and Poltergeist, we might have killed or been very, very close. It would have been very, very weak, but unfortunately, we have to switch into Sylveon. This really stunk. The amount of damage this burn did throughout the entire game, as you'll see, was just insane. I believe we just Wish Pass for a bunch of turns here. He goes to Ferrothorn again. I'm able to get a Wish off. I just go for Protect here. I don't want to risk anything. He goes for Knockoff. I'm able to get back up to 100%, which is huge. We bring out Gorgeist again. We figure out that he's a Rocky Helmet user. He's got Knockoff, but this is why we have Synthesis. So we're able to heal back up to a decent range. Go back into Sylveon. He does make a really nice double there to get in the Skunk Tank. And now we're a a little bit in trouble, but he switches right out. I don't know exactly what he thought I was going to do there. I thought a poison move was pretty not obvious, but not very much drawback, because I'm assuming the Skunk Tank had Flamethrower at this point. So if the Skymarie comes in, who cares? But regardless, he switches back into Goodra. We just protect because I wanted to see what he would go for. I didn't know what coverage he had or if he was going to predict the Skymarie or what. So we just went for protect. I guess he could have been thinking that I might go. I'm trying to think what would have been let in that he'd want Goodra in for. He'd probably want Goodra in for Gourgeist or Skymarie. But, I mean, the Skunk Tank should be able to take the... Actually, the set that he had, it might have been tough for it too. Nah, he must have thought Skymarie, and then he wanted to get a head start on that with the Goodra. So Goodra, Sludge Waves. We're just gonna play this game again. We're gonna Wish Pass because we need health on Xatu, like really bad. At this point, I tried to make a big play here. When the Rhyperior comes in, we get the chip off, which is super nice because now it's in close combat range of Haxorus. So we're setting Haxorus up really well right now. We just need one hit off on Skunk Tank, and we need one hit off on Goodra, or else we can actually kill Goodra as long as we get 3 hits off with his Scale Shot. And then Hawlucha, we need a little bit of chip in order for 3 hits to kill the Hawlucha as well. So he brings in Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and so we luckily get some chip off. But here I go for a play. I decided to switch into Xatu, thinking that I was protecting before, or I was been switching into Gourgeist, both of which Stealth Rock made a lot of sense to. It seemed like a no drawback play for him to Stealth Rock here, but instead. So I want to catch him off guard, and if I got those Stealth Rocks off, I might have just won with a chip. I really wish I had some hazards here. I think Colossal might have been a really nice bring, but I decided to bring basically double cleaner with Weavile and Haxorus, which they never even left their Pokeballs. The other 4 were able to do it. But anyway, worst case scenario, we sacked the Xatu. I didn't really want to take a Fire Punch by Skymarie because I needed it to be at full health for Hawlucha. And I wanted it to be at full health basically to tank a Mystic Fire or a Flamethrower from Skunk Tank. So I decided to sack the Xatu. We'll get in our Gourgeist, and now we're just going to go for Poltegeist. Power Whip would kill here, but we know that Goodra probably has Sap Sipper, and so we don't want to feed that thing. We want to hopefully get some damage off, and we're able to do that. So it took so long to do the animation, I thought we missed, but we didn't. So to get the Goodra down to about half health, we know it's AV at this point. So our Sylveon actually does not kill this thing just yet. And we are going to use all of our wishes because why not? So here the burn actually wasn't the end of the world. I just wish I had leftovers. The burn might have been helpful to us because eventually he could have got a poison, which would have done way more damage. So we Wish Pass here for a bit. Eventually I think he's going to go Skunk Tank, which is a good play. I mean, there's really no reason for me to Hyper Voice there, as he could have killed me. But it was actually close. I might have been able to survive a Sludge Wave, so I could have potentially Hyper Voiced. If I Hyper Voiced, it was almost a done deal if I could get chip on Hawlucha. So we're just going to protect to see what he does. He goes for the Poison Jab. So here I'm thinking, is he physical or is he special? Because special makes a lot of sense to me, as it does get Nasty Plot, which could have been a problem as well. But so we decided to go to Gourgeist, as we are really physically defensive, and Ghost typing, it resists poison, so it's actually neutral. So we're able to take Poison Jab very, very well, only 26%. And then we figure out he has a Normal Gem. Normal Gem meaning, okay, so he's got Poison Jab, he's definitely got Explode, he's probably not invested in Special at all. He probably just does a little bit of chip with the Flamethrower on Skymarie. So those are some things I had to keep in mind. Foul Play was his dark move. I thought it was going to be Night Slash, but good, really good bring, especially with my 2 setup guys. Like, Foul Play against Haxorus is incredible. He brings out the Goodra. I decide not to make the mistake of going for Iron Body again, or Iron Defense, excuse me. I just go for the Body Press. It'd been nice to get rid of the Goodra at this point, if I would have Body Pressed earlier, but we're able to take a good 39% off. Get in our Sylveon, play this Wish game for a little bit. And then eventually, I believe we go for the hyper voice, because we just need to get rid of this dang thing. So we hang in here. I didn't want him to get in Skunk Tank again. I understood why he was pressuring my Sylveon though, because Skunk Tank does not want to take a hyper voice. But regardless, we do a few more wishes, and now I believe this is the turn where we hyper voice. Yep. So we take out the Goodra. We really don't need Sylveon anymore because this is a physical attacker, and Indeedee, which is probably Scarfed, which would be nice to have the Sylveon still alive, just in case I can tank one hit for our dudes. But regardless, it's fine. We don't really... Sylveon's pretty much only there for Goodra at this point. So here we make a pretty risky play, thinking that he might have Flamethrower still. He could have went for it, but if he Flamethrowered on my Sylveon could have Hyper Voiced him and done about 50% or more. And I don't think Flamethrower would have killed me from 21% because Sylveon's just ridiculously specially bulky. So we're able to get in our Skymarie, get that Rocky Helmet damage off, which is huge. We body press here on the Hawlucha, and now I'm thinking, all right, I think we set this up pretty well. I think we just iron, defense here. I hope he's not Taunt. Taunt would be kind of an issue, but we already got the chip we needed for our Weavile, and so we go for the Iron Defense. He goes for the Bulk Up, and I thought that was really smart of him to bring the Bulk Up. I thought that was a really good bring. But unfortunately, Iron Defense is still going to beat this set, especially since I have Taunt. So he goes for the Fire Punch, only does 21. We taunt him, so we know that he cannot get any more Bulk Ups off or Roost. We're able to Roost ourselves, get up to 100%. And then I'll just let this play out. But now that our Skymarie's at plus 2 defense, we're kind of set up for a victory here, especially with the Rocky Helmet. So we get one more Iron Defense off. I think that's all we need. We Roost up. The Taunt's going to fade. He's going to try to get off another boost. But now we just take care of him with Body Press. And so Body Press is going to take him out. And at this point, I think we win as long as there's not a fire move on the Skunk Tank. We tank the Mystical Fire. We go for Body Press. Take out the Indeedee. Brings out Big Mama. We decide to taunt as he goes for the Leech Seed, because he couldn't kill us with either of his physical moves. So we heal back up. And now we're going to Body Press to finish him off. We're going to take some damage from Rocky Helmet plus Iron Barbs. But at this point, even a Flamethrower would have been invested to kill my Skymarie there. And we're able to Body Press the last 2 Mons. And luckily, it's not a fast rep here. It's probably just max HP. But regardless, Bam Adebayo, a.k.a. Skymarie, went in. Pretty proud of him. I really love using this Mon in the past. And just being able to be super defensive and take on any physical attacker, basically, just makes it a super valuable Mon. I think Spikes and Rocks in this battle would have helped and sped the game up a lot, because he doesn't really have any recovery with his Mons. And so I think Spike stacking would have really helped, because his Goodra couldn't keep coming in for free. He had to pay for it. So that might be something I want to look into if we see each other in the future. And hopefully we do. Hopefully we see each other in playoffs. So I'll see y'all later. Peace.